Hello scrapbookers, this is Megan and I am back today finally with another December daily video. So today is going to be days 2 and 3, and for day number 2, let me grab that page. So for that one, it was all about just cuddling with the dogs and being comfy. I believe it was a Sunday. And so we just kind of hung out at home and relaxed and enjoyed our day together as a family. It's kind of what we like to do on Sundays. Mark and I sometimes go out to breakfast, just the two of us, and go out and run errands. But I think this day we just relaxed at home. Okay, so I have 3 different photos for this layout, I believe. I printed one off at 4x6 or 4x5, and that's the one that I am using right there, you can see. And I'm deciding whether I want to put it there or if I want to put it up at the top. And then I decide, okay, so this is the smaller photo that I printed as a 4x6. But the space up here at the top calls for a 4x4. So I'm going to use the smaller photo and I'm going to mat it with this green, it's kind of like plaid paper. And I'm going to cut off the right side of it and I'm going to use that 4x6 paper with the pine cones on it as the full 4x6 paper. So here you can kind of see I'm just piecing it together and trying to figure out how I want it to go. And that smaller piece of paper that you can see in the bottom there that I'm messing with right now, that was supposed to be a 3rd photo, but I didn't really have another photo that would fit in such a small space. So here you can see I'm trying to add this 3rd photo of the 2 dogs, but it's not going to work out. So what I'm going to end up doing is using that white piece of filler paper as my journaling area. So that is what I'm going to end up doing. And you can see here that I accidentally stamped 2 number 2s for this day. I did one in green and one in red and I didn't realize it. And when I went to go put everything together, I was like, oh, I have 2 of these. So I got to decide if I wanted to use the green or the red. And I'm really glad that I had the option because I end up using the red because I decide to move that, you can see I have the green number 2 down on that bottom photo, but I decided to move it up to the top. And the red just kind of went a lot better with the papers that are on top. So here I'm going to mat this white paper with that red, and that is Candy Apple, which is just red cardstock from Close to My Heart. I will try to remember to leave links to everything that I'm using here. This is also the ephemera from Merry Days, which I got in my hipster holiday kit from Click Kits. So here you can see I am trying to decide what I want to use to embellish this bottom card. There was a big, huge space there above Max's head, and so I thought, okay, I need to embellish up there. So I'm going to use this chipboard piece that says Joy, and then I'm also going to pull off a snowflake that you can see there to the left of that Joy chipboard piece from the Close to My Heart Compliments little embellishment pack. So here I'm just going to glue these down, and then I will move on to that top card. And that is pretty much how this second page is going to go, day number 2. I don't think I do the journaling on camera, so you can see all of that at the end of the video. Now we're going to move on to day number 3. So this is actually one of my favorite stories from this month. So this year this is actually the second year we've had Piper. And the first year we had our Christmas tree downstairs. This year, I really, really wanted it to be upstairs because I like being able to see it in our family room and the place where we eat and spend a lot of time. And so I begged and Mark said, okay, fine. Well, the only problem with that is that, okay, hold on. Pause the story for a second. So here you can see I have this close to my heart. This was the November stamp of the month, and this is my Christmas tree stamp that I'm going to use. I totally screw it up because I spend forever stamping it, and then I totally like measured it wrong or something, like the leaf part. So I'll leave this in just so that you guys can see that I screw it up. And I'm not perfect. But, and I apologize if you can hear my kids out in the living room. They're playing video games together because it is Christmas break. So it's the joy of being a mom and having kids home for 2 weeks. Anyway, so back to the story, the photo story. So last year, Piper never really bothered the tree because it wasn't really anywhere, like she didn't hang out around it a lot. But she spends a lot of time upstairs next to the tree this year. And so Mark put the tree skirt under the tree, you know, the day after we put it up or something. And it was like a week before December when we put it up. And she started playing with it. So I had to pull it out from under the tree because she kept messing with it. And we were like, okay, we don't want you to rip this thing up. But I guess Mark hadn't, so you can see there the leaves were off. I stamped the leaves off the little tree. So that's why I decided to move it to the other side. Okay, sorry. Totally getting distracted here. But so I decided to put it under the tree so that I could take a picture of the tree. And I just like the way it looks with the tree skirt under the tree, right? It just doesn't look like a finished tree without that. So I tied it to itself because it's just one of those tree skirts that you can tie together. And Piper never really went by it that day before I went to work. And then I went to work and I texted Mark and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm so afraid that she's gonna pull it over and there's gonna be this tree just laying in our room or our living room when you get home. So on my break, I texted Mark, and I think I was on my break at like 4:30 or something like that. And I was like, did our tree survive? And he was like, it didn't. You know, he texted me. He was like, no, it didn't. And he was like freaking out. And he sent me this picture that I am scrapbooking right now of Brennan and Tinian laying on the floor and the tree still standing. But the way that he took it, if you don't know the context behind the photo or how our living room is laid up, you might think that the tree is actually fallen over and the kids are standing. So it's just kind of funny. He was like, nope, it's not standing. She totally pulled the tree over. And so that is the story behind this photo, and that is my day 3 story. Because I am working this year, I don't have as many stories to tell. I'm not home all day long with my kids or with my husband, and a lot of these stories are things that I just kind of had to make up this year, but I'm really proud of how well I did documenting photos and taking photos this month. I did have to get creative sometimes, so you'll see as I go along that what I mean by creative. So here you can see I'm just gluing the photo down to a white cardstock piece, and that's from Close to My Heart. And I'm going to cut that up and make that fit right there. So that is my photo. I'm going to glue this little card or strip piece that was from the pattern paper. I'm going to glue that on the bottom, and that kind of covers up that piece from the stamp that I didn't end up using. Okay, so now also the other thing that I liked about the stamp that I stamped on the right is that I did use brown stamp for the tree part, and then the leaves are green. So I did like that I changed that up because I didn't do that with the very first stamp that I stamped out. So now here you can see I'm going to glue down the photo, and then I also cut out the Merry Christmas that was in the middle of that wreath, and I'm going to decide to put that down there on the bottom. And that just works out so well. So I'm going to cut that, and then I'm going to add a few more embellishment pieces, and then this layout is going to be done for day number 3. I'm really happy with this, and I will show you. I'm not sure, I don't think I do any my journaling on camera, but I will read to you what I ended up writing. I did add 2 lines to the card because I had a lot of journaling. So I was really glad that I had extra space. Okay, anyway, so my journaling says, Piper likes pulling the tree skirt out from under the tree, so I tied it together to make it stay. I was worried she'd pull the tree over while I was at work. I texted Mark on my break to see if the tree was still standing. He said no, and texted me this picture. So it's kind of fun. I really love it. I'm going to add a little sticker to the left-hand top corner of the journaling card. Right there you can see. And I am going to cut it off and save that extra because I'll add that to another card somewhere. But anyway, that is my day 2 and 3 spreads. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope I will see you again very soon. Bye!